Hi, this is Shannon. This is Cycle 1, Week 4. If you're new here, I am a homeschooling mom of 3 little ones, and we are part of Classical Conversations and just love it. And I get the privilege of tutoring the Abecedarians this year, so the 4 through sometimes 6-year-olds. And I'm excited to share with you some ideas I'm going to use this week for tutoring the class. And also, I'm going to show you some more free games and activities I've made to supplement the memory work at home. You can use them to practice with your kids. We love playing games at my house, so I like making games where we're playing the game and practicing the memory work at the same time. So I will explain that at the end of the video and show you where to find those things for free. We are going to start with English this week. I made these books for my kids, and I just decorated a preschool lined paper notebook with a fun title page with their name, a little biology design. This isn't one of the actual names of a kid in my class, it's just an example. But what I do is I set these books out on the table before the kids come in, and then they come in and they find their book with their name on it and they know where they're supposed to sit in our class time. So I like that. And then in their book each week, I write the English that we're doing. So this week we are talking about the next 5 prepositions. So I will have these written in their books ahead of time. And what I did is I left a few blank lines so they could fill in the remaining prepositions. You can change this depending on the level of the kids in your class. So you could write each preposition really lightly with pencil and have the kids trace, or you could make little dots to make each word and they could also trace, or you could have your kids write all 5 prepositions if they're a little bit more advanced with writing. You could change it up for each kid in your class depending on their level. So some kids you could write more of them out and some kids you could leave more blanks. So you could really change this up depending on kind of where they are with writing. But I like the kids in my class to have some writing practice each week. I think it's really good for them. So the prepositions we are doing this week are before. So they would write before, behind, below, beneath, beside. So they would write 3 of them and I have 2 of them there. So I will have them write them and just give them some time, walk around and help them if they need it. And then we will go through our preposition song. So we're going to start at the beginning of the preposition song and go through the prepositions for this week. So what I'll probably do first is talk about the motions just for the ones this week, and then we'll start from the beginning. The ones this week are before. So you're going to keep your palm towards you and hold your hand out like this, before, and then behind, you're going to move your hand back like this, behind, and then below, you're going to put your hand down and put your other hand below it. So below, and then beneath, you're going to squat and do the same motion, but while squatting. So beneath, and then staying squatted, you're going to move your hands together to one side for beside. So before, behind, below, beneath, beside. And then if we start from the beginning, and I wanted to show you this because I found this on CC Connected and it's so great. There is a handout with all these little stick figures with the hand motions for this song. And I'll link below where I found it, but I found it on CC Connected. Awesome resource. Just a good reminder of the different hand motions. So here we go from the beginning. A preposition, toot to toot, relates a noun, toot to toot, or pronoun to. Toot to toot, another word, toot to toot. About, above, across, after, against, along, amid, among, around, at, atop, before, behind, below, beneath, beside. And we're going to keep going with this song until we get to week 12, I believe. And then we'll have the whole song down. I like practicing from the beginning each week because then the kids will really have it by the end. At the end, I give my kids a sticker to stick on their book. By the 24th week, they'll have 24 or more stickers on it, which is fun. And then you can give this to them to take home. Next, we're going to do timeline. I have my timeline cards I got from the Classical Conversations bookstore. I'll link below if you want to find these. I would recommend, if you're going to buy these, to get all 4 sets because we use all 4 sets to do the whole timeline song, which we will do this year. We do every year, the whole timeline song. So I love using these in my class with tutoring and at home. So I would highly recommend them. But I put these letters on each one. I get these letters from the dollar store, and the reason I do this is because I have the younger kids and a lot of them can't read yet. So for example, Early Native Americans has an E on it, so we can talk about that card and talk about what letter early starts with, and it can help them identify it. We're going to do something a little bit different this week. So I'm going to tape one of these cards to each kid's back with painter's tape, and I'm going to tell them as I'm taping to close their eyes so they don't know which card is being taped to their back. Obviously the other kids can see, but they don't know which card is being taped to their back. And once the cards are all taped to the kids' backs, we are going to sing the timeline song. Now you could play it. I'll probably just sing it so I can do it slower depending on the pace that the kids need. But their goal is to put themselves in the right order. So, for example, we'll start singing Early Native Americans, and I'll probably start really slow. So, Early Native Americans. Okay, what does early start with? E. All right, can anybody find who has the one with the E on their back? And then hopefully they'll figure it out and say, oh, Tommy does. Okay, Tommy, you got to go stand against the wall in the first spot. All right, awesome. Let's keep singing. So Tommy, you just wait. Somebody's going to come stand next to you really soon. So Early Native Americans, Israel divides into 2 kingdoms. So Israel, what does Israel start with? I. Who has one with an I on their back? Now we have several I's this week, or 2 different I's. So we'll have to figure out which one is which. So we've got Israel divides and Israel falls. So we'll have to figure out, okay, ooh, we see 2 people with eyes on their back. Let's see, can anybody figure out which one is Israel divides? And see if anybody can figure that out. Okay, whoever has that one on their back, Susie, go stand next to Tommy. I think that's the name I used. So then she'll go stand next to him. And then we'll keep doing it until the last person gets to go stand at the end. And then once everybody's standing in the right order, I'm going to have 7 pieces of painter's tape on the wall that they're kind of already standing in front of, hopefully not getting stuck to the wall with. And I'll have them take the card off their back and put it on the wall. Or, they'll already have tape on the card, so there should be plenty of tape. So they'll tape them on the wall in the right order, and then I'll have them go stand in front of the card that they had on their back, and we'll go over the hand motions to the timeline song together. So the hand motions go like this. Early Native Americans, so from your mouth to your ear, like they're earrings. Early Native Americans. Israel, so make an I. Israel divides into 2 kingdoms. Homer, so an H. And Hesiod, another H. Rome, you can twist your 2 fingers. Rome, founded by Romulus and Remus, so 2 more R's. Israel, another I. Israel falls to Assyria, the bow and arrow motion. Assyria falls to Babylon, so we're doing the L for law. Lao Tzu, Confucius, so I'm making that P and doing that around my ear. So Lao Tzu, Confucius, Buddha. You can do that 3 times, or sometimes our community does Buddha, like a big belly. So I'll do that one more time. Early Native Americans, Israel divides into 2 kingdoms. Homer and Hesiod, Rome founded by Romulus and Remus. Israel falls to Assyria. Assyria falls to Babylon. Lao Tzu, Confucius, Buddha. So that's timeline this week. This week for geography, we are doing the Hittite Empire, and I have my trivium table map with our places outlined in dry erase marker. I do this before class to prep the maps since my kids are young, just to help them see where all the places are. And I do each one in a different color. So we've got Hattusa in blue, Asia Minor in pink, Cyprus in green, and the Arabian Desert in orange. And I'm going to give my kids one of these fun little erasers. I found these at the cheap dollar section in Target. Anywhere I see little erasers, I usually get them because they're great to point to these places with, and the kids really love them. So we're going to sing a song to the tune of Apples and Bananas. And so as we sing, I'm going to have the kids try to point with me to the locations. So it goes like this. Hittite, tight, tight, Hittite Empire. Hattusa, Asia Minor, Cyprus, Arabian Desert. Hittite, tight, tight, Hittite Empire. Hattusa, Asia Minor, Cyprus, Arabian Desert. And this is a great time to just review other places that we've studied in geography so far. You can have them find the Mediterranean Sea. It's kind of small, but they could find Sumer and the Tigris and Euphrates River, Mesopotamia. It's a great way to review geography. They have their maps in front of them, and you can just do that real quick each week, and they'll have the places down really well. So that is geography this week. For math, we are seeing the 7s and 8s, and I have these printables from Kimberly Veely. I'll link below where I get her stuff. I've shown her stuff before. She just makes really pretty printables for all the different subjects in the memory work. So I'm going to print these off for my kids. Mine's laminated. I'm not going to laminate them, but I'm also going to give the kids a little finger puppet. I've shown these before, but I'm going to bring these back out. I have different animals, like we got pig, little frog, all kinds of animals in there. I got these from Amazon, so I'll link below if you're interested. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to have them use their puppet and kind of point to each number as we sing the 7s. So it goes like this. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, 63, 70, 77, 84, 91, 98, 100, 5. So you can just have them point normally, and then you can have them do fun things like let's kiss each number. So 7, it's like the same thing, but and then you can tell them, all right, I want you to have them touch it really gently as we do it. Or you could have them give it a high five. And, it's basically doing the same thing, but just making it a little bit different, making it fun. So that's 7s. And then for 8s, you could do the same thing, or I'm going to have my kids do some fun movements. By this point, they probably need to get up and get some energy out. I've shown before, I made these movement cards. I'll link below so you can get them for free off my blog if you want. But like leap, freeze, stomp, we'll just get them up and moving. And so we'll sing the 8s, and as we do that, I'll give a different movement card to each kid, and we'll rotate doing their movement as we sing. So for example, if we're doing leap, we'll sing 8, 16, 24, and 32, 40, 48, 56, and 64. And as we're doing that, we will be leaping like a frog. 72, 80, 88, and 96, 104, 112, 120. And then we'll choose another kid's movement, stomp. So we'll sing it as we stomp. And it just gets them to get some energy out. So that is math this week. For history this week, we are talking about the 7 wonders of the ancient world. And I'm going to have these pictures of each of the 7 wonders taped up around the room. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have everybody kind of stand up and gather in the center of the room or the front of the room, whatever makes sense. And they're going to watch me go over each of the 7 wonders. So we're going to look at each picture, and they can walk over closer to the picture so they can see it well. And I'm just going to talk about each one really quickly. So we've got the pyramids of Giza, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, the Temple of Artemis at Ephesus, the statue of Zeus at Olympia, the mausoleum at Halicarnassus, Pharaoh's lighthouse at Alexandria, and Colossus of Rhodes. So we'll just look at each picture, and I'll tell the kids, try to listen and pay attention and think about what each picture is called. And then we'll gather in the front of the room again, and I'll say, okay, we're going to play Simon Says. And I'll remind them how to play. If Simon says do something, then you got to do it. If I don't say Simon Says, then don't do it. And if you do it accidentally, you have to run around the room in a circle. So I will first say, all right, Simon says find the statue of Zeus at Olympia. So I'll go find that one, and I'll help them. I'll say, all right, which picture has a statue in it? And help them find it. So they'll all go over to that one. And then once they're at that picture, I'll have them do a few fun things like Simon says, hop on one foot. Simon says, pat your head. Stop patting your head. Whoops, you did it. Simon didn't say. So then whoever did it, I'll have them run around the room in a circle. Something like that. And then I'll say, all right, Simon says, find the pyramids of Giza. And so then they'll go find that one. And you can do that, as much as you want, just to help them practice finding the different places and recognizing which pictures mean which of the 7 wonders. So that's what we will do for history. There's also a Classical Conversations history song you can play too. For Latin this week, we are doing the same thing we did last week. So the first declension noun endings. And what I'm going to do is just have my kids practice the Classical Conversations song. And then I'm going to give them each a silly voice card. I've showed these before, but I have these for free on my blog. You can use and download for free. So I'll link below how to do that. But then I'm going to give them a silly voice card and have them sing the song in their silly voice. So the normal song goes like this. Ah, I am ah. Ah, I am ah. Ah, I am ah. Singular first declension. I arum is as is. I arum is as is. I arum is as is. Plural first declension. So then, for example, if a kid had the high-pitched voice card, then we would sing it in high-pitched, like etc. I won't do it. But then you can have them, switch off each person's different silly voice. And they really, really, really like this. This does not get old. I did this all the time last year, and this was their favorite part. So silly voices. It's awesome with little kids. That is Latin. And I'll explain more at the end, but I made a Latin bingo for these weeks until week 12. It includes all the different noun endings, and you can play it at home with your kids to help review that. Lastly, for science, we are talking about what are some parts of a plant cell. I made this worksheet that has the kids find the differences between an animal cell and a plant cell. I have them find 5 differences. So first, they're just looking at the pictures and finding the differences between the pictures. And then I do have an answer key that talks about what actual differences there are between an animal cell and a plant cell, and you can talk about each of them with your kids. You can download this for free on my blog. You can use it in your class, or you can use it at home to practice the memory work. Either way, I'm going to bring it to class, print off one for everybody. I like to do this at the end to help them wind down. And I'm also going to teach them a song to the tune of This Old Man, and it goes like this. Some parts of a plant cell are nucleus, cytoplasm, vacuole, cell wall, cell membrane, mitochondria, chloroplast, and Golgi bodies. Some parts of a plant cell are nucleus, cytoplasm, vacuole, cell wall, cell membrane, mitochondria, chloroplast, and Golgi bodies. All right, I also wanted to show you, I've shown these before, but these really beautiful coloring pages from Amy Snyder Design. I'll link below how to get them from Etsy. But here's parts of a plant cell, 7 wonders for history, geography. I love printing these off and sending them home with the kids to color during the week. Also, I love these printables from Kimberly. I'll link below. I mentioned her before, but this is Parts of a Plant Cell, Seven Wonders, Hittite Empire. I already showed math, the 7s and the 8s. And then we've got the Bible memory work, Who is Noah? As promised, I want to show you the games and activities I made to go along with the memory work this week. You can download these all for free from my blog. I'll put a link in the description where you can find them. Some of them I've done in past weeks, some of them are new. The first one for English, I made these preposition cards. I showed these last time. These have all the prepositions through week 12. And I'm planning to play memory with them for my daughter, but you can do different things with them. They have the preposition and the sentence with the preposition and a little picture. So you can use them as you like. Then, like I showed in science, I made this animal cell and plant cell. They can find the 5 differences between the two. I have an answer key too that explains what the differences are. For history, I made these little puzzles so you can cut them out and then the kids can put together each of the 7 wonders. For math, I have skip counting the 7s and skip counting the 8s. For Latin, I showed these before, but I made Latin bingo cards with the noun endings. And I have a geography map again where they can play a little dice game and guess what places go with which numbers. So I hope if you have children who would enjoy these games that you download them and enjoy them. I've been enjoying them with my kids. We love games a lot, and so it's just fun to be playing a game and practicing the memory work at the same time. If you are enjoying my videos, please subscribe to my channel. I am posting 2 videos per week related to homeschooling, parenting encouragement, and some health related things. So please subscribe and thank you for watching. Have a great week.